Okay, it's working. Hey, so hello everyone. I decided to make a very small tutorial about the Grotto Wrong Warp hover a while ago already, but I never really did it because I had to set things up and whatever. It's not a big deal right now. So, I'm gonna start right away. You can see the input viewer on the top left. I'll explain everything you'll have to know to do this trick, which lets you do a faster route for any person, as my tutorial is a tiny bit outdated right now. So, let's start. So the first and most important thing you will need to know is that trick is actually pretty easy if you know what to do. And after this you will hopefully see where you fail. The first thing you will have to know is hover heights. That is what I use to measure whether I'm gonna make it or not. Because the important thing about that trick is if you're too low, you're not gonna make it onto the platform, obviously. If you're too high, you're not gonna clip, because it uses some sort of up clip to get onto the platform. And if you're too high, you're simply not gonna clip. So, first thing you will have to know is, as I said, hover heights. For this you will have to understand when you have the highest hover and when you don't. Basically, I can show you. So this was not the highest hover you will is basically when the feet are parallel to each other like this. I don't know if I can pause in between. Like this. You see the feet are parallel to each other. On the same height, the toes are in the same height. Basically the feet and the legs look the same. That's how you know you have a high hover. Basically the highest you can get. So, when you start an initial hover from the fence, and you get a hover that looks like this. Once again, like this. Then you're... oh wait, that was one too far, but you've seen the frame. That means that you will have to delay your hovers. Now, for what I do is, it's pretty simple. If you look at it this way, you're doing 3 hovers. 1, 2, 3. Now those were 3 perfect height hovers. Now, to make it onto the platform, you have to lose 2 frames of height. So, the way I did it right here wouldn't work, because I got too high. 1, 2, whoops, 3. That is too high. So, what you want to learn in order to get it is how to delay your hovers by 1 or 2 frames, as it's not that precise. I really need to make sure I'm not being making this tutorial too long. So when you look at my controller, you can see I'm like hitting the stuff immediately. Now I'm gonna do a delayed hover. It's not looking much different on the controller input, but you can see I'm always 1 frame or 2 frames later. The way I do this is, instead of sliding from the A button to the Y button or to the X button, depends on what you want to use. If you're using choose and see down, then have fun finding your own strat. Instead of sliding, I make sure I'm like leaping from the A to the Y button. So I don't slide directly to the Y button, I make a small hop. Like I'm pressing them each. Because this is obviously a tiny bit slower to do a hover, and this way I can slightly delay the hover. Now, for the hover onto the platform, as I said, you will have to lose at least 2 frames of height. I think you can lose up to like 5 frames of height, so as you have quite some space. it's pretty forgiving. So let's say I do an initial hover. Now that was, I need height actually, so okay, okay, let's do like an initial hover right now and pretend this was the fence. So now I lost 1 frame of height. That means in order to make it onto the platform, I can do 1 height hover, 1 perfect height hover. That was not a perfect height hover, but that doesn't matter because now I can do 1. So now I lost 2 frames of height basically and could do a side jump to the right to make it onto the platform. It's pretty hard to show this off because the platform's moving. So I'm trying to show it here before I show you how to do it. That's basically all you need to know. You need to know how many frames have you lost in height so you can still make it. And that's how to do it. I still have ISG. Let's get into the grotto, and I'll show you, and I hope I can explain it fast enough. Wow, that was a hole-in-one. That was unexpected. So, you have to get ISG pretty quick, obviously. Now, this was like 2 frames lost. 2 or 3 frames lost. I could basically go with 2 height hovers from here on. Like, just 2 usual height hovers. As you see, yeah, you saw the 2 hovers were perfect. So I still made it. Oh, don't get caught. I'm gonna do it a few more times and explain what I have to do. Now this was a perfect hover, this was a perfect initial hover, which means I now have to delay my two hovers in advance. I might have been slow here because I'm pausing, so this could fail. But if I would get 1 perfect chew hover, I would have to make the other drop 2 frames in order to still make it onto the platform. Yeah, you saw I dropped 2 frames each there. One of my hovers could have been with perfect height and I would have still made it. But as you saw, you have quite a few frames of buffer there. But that's like the hardest thing to do, or to learn. When you get a perfect height hover, whoa, nice angle. Don't let muscle memory ruin it for you. Because that's what I did at the beginning. I used to still go for like fast hovers or perfect height hovers, and that just made me screw the entire thing. That's all you need to know. 8 minutes, 8.5 minutes. That is way too long. I hope this was helpful. I don't think the input viewer was all that important. I made this video mostly about the hover right now because explaining like the entire trick is a little, well, it wouldn't have taken that much longer, but it's pretty easy to do. If you need help with it though, I can still help you with it, obviously. So, thank you for watching. I hope it was helpful. I hope you now understand why you fail this trick if you fail it. It's mostly the same as the platform doesn't gain height immediately. So, like, the pull frames of your bomb don't matter all that much because it's pretty strict anyway to make it. So, that's all I gotta say. Thank you for watching, and if you have any questions or if I should do more tutorials about certain things, then feel free to let me know, because I am a lazy idiot who needs to step up his game and help the community a little. Thanks a lot, and see ya!